If you want to create a fair and justifiable price for your copywriting services, in this video, I'm going to show you how much you should charge for your copywriting services. So if you're looking to address the fact that you're worried that customers might think you're too expensive, or you're not entirely sure what you're supposed to charge and you've got no idea where to start, in this video I'm going to show how to create a fair and justifiable pricing strategy using a really simple calculator that I've got that you can get access to for free, as well as some of the stuff that I've learned from my experience from scratch about charging for copywriting. Hey there, funnel builders, Mike here. If you are a funnel builder but you're not subscribed, go ahead and click the little subscribe button down below and the little bell icon to get notified when I produce new videos like this every single week, helping funnel builders like you sell your marketing services to customers. The problem is that you need to have confidence to charge a crazy high price. At least that's the perception. And I understand that when you are selling copywriting services, you might be caught between wanting to charge not crazy high amount to make sure that you get customers, but also not charge super low so that you can actually make some money. And I'm going to share my process for actually understanding how much you need to charge and give you empirical proof about what you should charge. A lot of copywriters tend to charge by the word or by the hour, and this will kill your business. So the first thing I want you to do is absolutely stay away from charging by the hour or by the word. I've never really understood that, because it's like saying to someone, look, I want 3 hours worth of art. I want 3 hours worth of marketing from you. It just doesn't work like that. Your copywriting needs to be packaged and processed and set in a way that you make sure that you're getting paid for the value that you bring, rather than just being a set number of hours. So that's what we're going to talk about on this call. If you want to use the calculator that we're about to use, you can actually find it at sellyourservice.co.uk/funnel-price. I've also got the link to it down below, and what you can do is find out exactly how much you should be charging for your copywriting services. It's a free calculator tool, and it will just tell you what you need to charge, as well as a little bit about like how many clients you'll have to go after and how many leads you can generate. So you can find that down below. But in the meantime, this is what I want to talk about in terms of how much should you charge for your copywriting services. So the first thing you need to do is work out how much you want to make per year. That's absolutely critical. In order to understand how much you want to charge your customers, you need to first understand how much do you want to make per year. What are your financial goals? And this might actually end up being more than you think it might be. Not everyone watching this wants to be a multimillionaire. Not everyone wants to be furiously wealthy, but to have a decent standard of living, you probably want to pull in something yourself like 100 grand. Now, if you're a freelancer, 100 grand is your income. However, I don't think you should be a freelancer. I think you should try and run a business. Allocating time to working on your own marketing, your own brand building, family, making sure you have enough time to spend with family and friends and doing hobbies and stuff. There's no point just working 12-hour days for the sake of it if you're only going to earn 100 grand. You're better off thinking, actually, I need to earn more than that in order to give me the time and freedom to do the things that I want to do. It's better to be upfront and honest. You might not get those customers straight away. You might not get the higher ticket customers straight away, but having a plan in place to understand how much you want to charge from the get-go is going to rely on you knowing what your financial goals are. So I want you to allocate time for doing the work, attracting customers in the first place, spending time with family, doing admin in the business, resting, and whatever that number is, deal with it. Skipping ahead a little bit, most businesses need to pull in around 300 grand a year in order to be sustainable. If you want to have a business yourself and pay yourself a decent salary, that's roughly how much it's going to cost. It sounds a lot. I know it sounds crazy. It's actually not a huge amount. That's only 10 customers at $30,000. And remember, you're going to have someone help you with admin and marketing and delivery. And like I said, you might not get there from the get-go, and I'll talk about the maths of it later on, but don't think that the customer's price or what the customer thinks is expensive should affect what your living situation should be. Your price is your price. So the first thing you need to understand is how much do you need to survive and live and have a decent income? What would be your financial goal? The second exercise I'd like you to do is force yourself to write out a list of things that you would deliver if someone gave you 25 grand. Let's say I give you $25,000. Put your comments down below and let me know how you want me to pay the money. And I'm going to give you 25 grand. You can't return it. It's no tricks or anything like that, but you have to use it. I want you to now list out everything that you would deliver for that 25 grand. I know it's scary, but just imagine, just grab a piece of paper and write out 25K at the top and just start listing out all the things that you would give me. Would you give me discovery calls and qualification calls and consulting calls? Would you read my content and buy my books and take my courses? Would you write sales pages? Would you do emails? Would you do adverts? Would you do some coaching? What would you do for that 25 grand? Or who else would you employ to deliver 25K's worth of value? The reason I like this question is because it begins to breach the idea that you should be working by yourself. It might be that you think for 25K, I would write your sales letters and your emails and we do some advertising tests, but I would actually hire someone to do the actual campaign building and Facebook ads and YouTube, for example. I'd actually hire someone to do the video, for example. So it allows you to think, if you had that kind of budget, what would you do? And when you start thinking about the budget, you then start thinking about how does that affect my yearly revenue goal? If it's just me working with the customer and I have a goal of 100 grand for $25,000 customers, is going to get me to that 100 grand, but it means I need to do all the work. 10 25 grand customers might mean that you don't need to do any of the work and you go to $250,000 or £250,000. So it's really important to start understanding some of these numbers. So the first thing is, what do you want to make per year? The second thing is, write out what you would deliver if I gave you 25 grand and you couldn't return it. The third thing to do is ignore the market. There's no such thing as middle ground. Your price is your price. When people say that's too expensive, it's absolute nonsense. Go ahead and check out this video. It's in the corner right now, talking about Laura Piana on why pricing doesn't matter and how much they charge for a yoga mat. Don't try to be middle of the market. Don't try and say we're cheaper than the most expensive and that means we can undercut them, but we're more expensive than the cheapest and that's because we need to make money. It doesn't exist. The middle of the market does not exist. The guys who are charging 150 grand for copywriting services, they're not worried about someone charging 2 grand. Their customers are completely different. If you need to charge 150 grand per customer, then you need to be competing with those guys. The higher point of the market is the only part of the market that makes sense. There's always going to be people coming in at the bottom trying to scoop up the bottom of the barrel, but the only place where you're going to make money is with a niche and finding out who is going to pay and who is willing to pay that kind of money. You are going to have people say you're way too expensive. You're going to get that. When I launched 5-figure funnels, at the time of recording, I think it is even still 99 cents for the ebook version. I had people saying, have you got like a cheaper one or a free one? And I'm like, it's less than $1. You're always going to have that. But just because someone says it's too expensive, that's them. That's too expensive for them. It's got nothing to do with your price. Your price is your price. So let's jump over to the calculator here. This is the free one that you've got access to over at sellyourservice.co.uk/funnel-price, or you can use the link down below. I want to put in my yearly revenue goal. It says just numbers, no comments or symbols. So I want to say I need to earn 350,000. The next question is then, what is the ideal number of customers that I would work with? It's better off underestimating this and saying I'd rather only work with 8 customers a year rather than saying I could probably work with 10 customers a year, or 12 or 100, because again, don't think that increasing the number of customers that you can work with is a good way of lowering your prices, because it's not. If I came to you and said, here's 100 customers ready and willing to go. They've got their credit cards ready and they're willing to buy from you. Would you be able to service all of those customers straight away? Probably not. Therefore, it's better off to scale that down drastically. I'm actually going to put 8 in here. And already it's told us that the ideal price is $43,750. I like that price a lot, partly because it's specific. And when a price is specific, it shares that you know what you're doing and you've been doing this a long time. So I would go back to that 25K exercise and I'd write $43,750 and I'd say, what do I need to offer? What would I give someone if they gave me 43 grand? Next up, this is a few other things within the kind of that customer area. What's your highest customer project price so far? Let's say it's 3 grand at the time. And how many proposals did I send last month? Maybe 5. And how many of those converted into a sale? What this calculator also does is it says, based on those conversion statistics, if you don't change your price, you'll need to have 117 customers to reach your yearly goal. Now, would you rather try and find 117 18 customers, or would you rather try and find 8 customers? I know which I'd rather go for. If you don't change your price, you'll need to send 583 proposals, even using my funnel proposal template, which you can find at sellyourservice.co.uk/proposal. That's down on the link down below. That would still take you, I don't know, 100 hours or something, or 200 hours, 110 hours or something like that to be able to get that much work done, which is crazy. What's also interesting is, based on this current conversion rate, if you increase your price to 43 grand, you'll actually just need to send 40 proposals. That's assuming that 1 out of 5 and that same conversion rate holds out. This just shows you that mathematically you're better off going for those higher price customers for your copywriting services. It doesn't have anything to do with trying to undercut people. Expensive is expenses. I've got another video here talking about why expensive is not an objection and it's a myth and you should ignore it. And it also isn't the customer saying no. It's got nothing to do with experience or testimonials or guaranteed results. If anything, you should be more expensive when you start. Cheapness comes with systems and processes. When you have a team involved and you're able to release other products and scalable products, that's when you can start reducing your price. But right now, you should be a premium service because they're working with you. You should be more expensive to start with. Look at any products and services that are released to market. The first ones, the first generation, when it's starting out, are the most expensive. It only becomes cheaper over time when you have those systems and processes in place. You need to charge enough to get where you want to be. Be realistic and shoot for fewer customers and larger deals. A £2,000 project is as much work as a £20,000 project. It's as much work to find the customer, it's as much work to close them, it's as much effort to work with them. If anything, I've found the higher ticket customers are actually easier to work with because they understand this is a long-term investment. People who have got a smaller budget tend to try and hold on to that budget, control it all the time because they're terrified of losing it. There is so much sense in going after higher ticket items for your copywriting services. Remember, you can actually get hold of this calculator for free by heading over to sellyourservice.co.uk/funnel-price, and that'll send you a little report based on, or just give you the report on the screen based on what your numbers are. If you are a funnel builder, go ahead and click subscribe down below. I help funnel builders every week just like you increase your prices, find a niche, sell more funnels, sell more marketing services. Do you have an ideal price in mind? Have you used the calculator? Let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to know what your magic number is. I'd love to see how much you think you should charge for your copywriting services. In the meantime, guys, I've got another video here talking about how to sell copywriting to businesses who already have a website, which is really interesting, and it opens up a whole new category of potential customers. So you can go ahead and click that here, and that will take you through to a video talking about how to attract copywriting clients who have already got a website. In the meantime, guys, thank you so much for watching. I will see you on the next video. Have courage, commit, and take action.